That's the Buzzcocks, now led by founding member Steve Diggle, who has moved to the middle, singing and playing guitar after the death of his friend and bandmate Pete Shelley back in 2018. The band is due to return to New Zealand in November, playing 3 dates throughout the country, including Auckland's Power Station, where they first played in New Zealand back in 1990.
I think that was our first time in New Zealand and the first time in Auckland.
Yeah,
I remember it well. Yeah. It kind of feels like a second home now.
yeah.
I think we did it in 2000 and something as well. I think we've done it a couple of times over the years.
Yeah, I saw you here at the St. James Theater. I think it was in 2006, and since then you've been at the Power Station. I think last time was like 2016. So
yeah,
yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So coming back this time, it feels like we're coming home in New Zealand ways.
Very good.
When they said you're playing the Power Station, I said, wow, so many memories.
Yeah, well, it is the best venue in the country, I think. And it's right around the corner from where I'm at right now. So it's even better. Easy to get to.
Absolutely.
So obviously, unfortunately, it's a kind of a different band these days than it was last time you were here for reasons that we don't need to go into. But so I'm kind of curious as to how you made this transition and how it is for you to be the leader of the band and to you're singing and playing guitar now and kind of running the show.
Yeah, I always did that. There was kind of two from, and there was Pete and there was me, obviously my brother, and sadly we missed, and we have to get over that. And
yep,
it's evolution. So, but I was always kind of fronting the band with Pete, waving my guitar about, singing my songs. He sang a lot more, obviously, but I sang. But I had the vibe there, the performance,
right?
So. Simply, I moved over to the middle, so it's not that much different, really,
Right.
And I've taken on to, as things happen, I've taken on to a different area and a different vibe with it, it's kind of on fire now. With the way I front, it was different than Pete, but it's like a new face of it,
Yeah.
And it's exciting now. I've created a few different vibes alive with it, and took it into another place, really,
Right.
So it's the Buzzcocks, I think, souped up a bit. It's the Buzzcocks for now,
Yeah, obviously, yeah. It kind of has to be. But that's cool. So, but for you personally, what kind of things did you go through in your head to go? I mean, did you consider getting another singer or another guitar player, or when did you kind of decide to make those decisions?
Well, not really. I mean, we had a few shows booked and there was no time, and it's like, I was there from day one. I was writing songs like Fast Cars and Autonomy and all these things, Harmony in My Head and all this kind of stuff. And quite a few songs I wrote with Pete as well and all that stuff. So I knew what it's about. By getting another singer in, that would change the dynamics completely,
Yeah.
So I just had to, I blended my voice a bit like a fine whiskey. I brought a little bit of Pete's voice in mine.
Oh, that's nice.
Thought, it was during COVID, and I thought, I'm writing this album, Sonics in the Soul, and it used to be the two of us, different songs and complement each other. So I thought, I'll bring a bit of Pete along with me,
Sure.
And that's what I kind of did as a starting point as well. So I've sort of, blended this new voice really, which is me and a little bit of Pete, say, in some ways, and then it develops to a third kind of thing. You get two things and put them together and you get a third. So I kind of think of it like that a bit. That was the starting point. Amazing enough, that was 6 years ago. I keep thinking like he died 2 years ago or something. But
time flies.
I can't believe it. So it's kind of like it's been 6 years and we've been touring a lot in Britain.
Yeah.
I was just done 5 weeks in America. I was in we was on the West Coast at the beginning of the year as well, Nora. So the band's well seasoned
Yeah,
in a different way now.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
sort of formulated, and and it's come together another way. But it's still the Buzzcocks you know and love, because my guitar playing is still Buzzcocksian,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and songs I wrote and all that. So and the voice thing is, it wasn't, like I say, I just moved up my register a bit.
Mm.
Because at one point when we started singing, he always sang a bit, quite a lot higher than me, but
Yep.
I could do that one. But I started stepping back and doing something different. So
Yeah.
you had two different voices. Now I've pulled them together a bit more,
Right, right,
and
right.
put a new sensibility with it, really, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if you close your eyes, it's like the Buzzcocks now,
Yeah.
But I can sing them songs like I don't mind. And well, Promises I wrote, but he used to sing it, but that was my song,
Yep. Yep.
Why
Yep.
can't why can't I touch it was on my chords and groove. So all that's still there, if you see what I mean.
I do. Yep.
Autonomy, that kind of thing. So for some people it would be difficult, but for me, because I was there from day one and
Yep.
was very much involved in the songwriting and been there at every performance, it wasn't that difficult to make this transition,
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
if
Yeah.
we'd got someone else in, it would have sounded terrible. I've got the Buzzcocks sensibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
made the Buzzcocks as much as Pete did, and
Sure.
so I've got that with me as well. So
Yeah.
when you hear this live, you just go, "That's the Buzzcocks," what I mean? So that's
Gotcha.
how it works, really.
Quick, I was just rustling through the
Wow,
collection and finding this stuff. So,
that's the original bag, is it? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Bought it back in
Those are
'78, I think it was.
wow. Those are precious. There's a cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what has the audience reaction been to the new version of the Buzzcocks, the revised version?
Oh, it's been amazing, because I've done a few tweaks and turns on the edge, and I've got my head under the bonnet and taking it in different ways.
Yep.
So in some ways it's a better set than we used to do in the old days.
Right. 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 There you go.
It's like for now, and when you come and see it, you'll see that it's like the Buzzcock souped up in a different way now, a different version of it.
Yeah.
Taking it on to the next phase.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
the band's on fire. They're all great players, and the bass player and drummer. I mean, they weren't the original members, but they've
Right.
been with us at least 15 years or more. So even when Pete was here, they were still playing it. So you still got that side of it as well,
Yep. 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 And having your own
And we,
album in the out and about, it makes a big difference. It kind of justifies and gives
well,
more credibility
yeah,
to the band.
when we did a tour just before COVID. I think we did about 11 dates, and then COVID came, so everything had to stop. But I said I don't want to go out and just play the greatest hits, which it's always a pleasure.
Yep.
We made a single called "Got to Get Better," and the B-side, which I even like more, "Destination Zero," because that really rocks.
If you see me fall apart, look the other way. Time to go back to the start. Might be right someday. Oh, I know it's gotta get better. Yeah, I know it's gotta get better. Gotta get better. Oh, yeah. Gotta get better. Oh.
We did the 11 dates with that, and then the COVID, and then I wrote the album Sonics and the Soul, which makes us relevant. The keyword's relevant. I want to be relevant because we always put records out all the time. So
Yep.
I didn't want it just to be like some nostalgia trip.
Yep.
Having said that, there'll be a lot of things off singles going steady and other albums that people know,
Yeah, of course.
But
Yeah.
also, the great thing is, we do about at least 4 songs or 5 songs off the new album,
Yep.
and they fit in really well with the older stuff. So, the fans that know you, that's it. It's a great thing for them to see as well, because they go, really like the new stuff you're doing as well.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
what you want to hear.
Obviously, yeah. So you know, it's more interesting than just doing all the
Yeah,
old
yeah.
stuff. You know,
And I think
and it
you're,
makes it.
and you got Modern English opening for you guys, and I think you've done shared the bill with them earlier in the year. So what can you tell me
Yeah,
about what they're up to?
we went to when did we go with them? But they opened up for us in Germany.
Yeah.
So we did some shows for them in Germany and stuff, and so we got on well with them, and then now they're coming with us there. So it would be great to see them again because you know you work with bands on the road and you get to know them a little bit. So
Yeah.
it would be nice to see them there. You know, it'd be really good. So that's going to be good as well because they sound good and it sort of fits in a different way. You know.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And
that's good.
yeah. So overall, kind of what can you tell folks that they're going to expect to hear and see when you guys get here? You're doing 3 dates throughout the country, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, like a comprehensive history of the Buzzcocks, you know, Songs They Know and Love and the new album. And performance-wise, there's different twists and turns in there. So they've got it all. Incidentally, I wrote another new album at the beginning of the year, but we've not had time to record it because we've been doing this like world tour.
Right.
And I wrote it in January, and I thought somewhere in the year there'll be time to go and record, which we've not had time to do. But in January of next year, I'm going to be recording that. So
nice.
There's more new music to look forward to as well, you know.
Fantastic.
But it's a pleasure to do the classic hits and all that as well. So there's plenty of those things in there, that kind of thing, and album tracks and the new stuff. So it's you know, it's refreshing and it's exciting. It's looking forward rather than just back, you know.
Right. So what's keeping you going? Because you're writing new songs. You're not just kind of going through the motions here. You're obviously full on into it.
No, well, that's it. The key word's relevant, really, and we always kind of did put albums out and songs and stuff like that. I mean, I've got to admit, Pete got a bit tired in the later days. He got a bit lazy to write new albums, so it'd take a bit longer.
Right.
But no, I'd always have my songs, and he'd be like, "Oh, you know, I'll get them together a few," and it always 6 months later it was still. So, but now I want to still keep doing the music, you know. Right. So I think even if you made a bad album, at least you're doing something, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean, rather than just staying still with the thing.
Yep.
But this new album the next one will be great as well, and I'm taking that in some different twists and turns as well.
Cool.
You know.
Yeah, very good. All right.
Well, it's like you always did. We had like little ones, like Harmony in My Head of Falling in Love, Promises and stuff. But we also had stuff like Why Can't I Touch It and Autonomy, which they're different sides to the Buzzcocks. So I want to carry on that tradition as well with this.
Okay.
But hopefully a few surprises. You've got to have a bit of danger on the album. You don't look as predictable.
Right.
As much as the Ramones catered in New York when we first went there.
Yeah.
And they always every album's the same. Once you got the first one, you get the idea of like 4 albums later.
Yep.
And they said you always took it somewhere else. So that's what I want to keep doing with this.
Cool.
Taking it somewhere else.
Very exciting.
Hopefully, a bit surprise people. You want to be surprised on albums sometimes,
Yeah. All right. Very good. All right.
Even to the point where they go, that doesn't sound like the Buzzcocks. And I can go, yes, it is. Because it is.
There you go. If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.